Right, welcome. I just do my Lockhearn head loop, which I always try and get in at least once a year. I normally do it 2 or 3 times. I haven't done it at all this year, so I decided that I had to put that right. It's quite a cold day. The lowest temperature I've had is 5 degrees. It's 9 here at the moment. We're going to go over Kenmore Moor, which hopefully it's open. It might be shut, but it's the start of it. You always think, why am I doing this? Because it's quite severe at the start. It can be quite a busy route as well, actually. Quite a few vehicles coming down there. This road will be closed 4 miles ahead from the 13th of November. It's not today, is it? It's fine. Okay, here we go then. As you can see, it's got a really bonny start right away over the gravel. Now, there's quite a few switchbacks on this road, which makes it a little bit tricky, and this is my first time up here on this bike, and this is the problem. Now, I have had a 2020 1800 Goldwing up here. That was quite a journey, I could tell you. So if I could do it on that, I'm sure I could do it on this. The fact that this is the low model as well is going to help an awful lot, because I can get my feet down, and that makes all the difference. Adventure bikes tend to be too tall, so these kind of roads really do test you on these taller bikes. Now I'm 6 foot and I've got a 33 inside leg, so I'm not short, so you might think the low is really not for me, but honestly, it, you know, like I say, adventure bikes just tend to be too tall, so I find my feet getting purchased really well on this. Now I have got it on the highest setting, and I have got a proper seat on it. It's a heated seat, but it's a proper thickness. Now this looks tricky because of the mud on the road. This looks like it could be tricky, but again, I've got my feet down, and you know, if I was on a tall bike, oh dear, tough. If I was on a tall bike, I would be struggling. The trouble is, there's a lot of leafy leaves here. I'll bet you Will will be watching this and he'll be glad that he's not on this road right now. But these early ones are really tricky, but like I say, because I'm not on a tall bike, because I can get my foot down well, I was able just to stop there and recover myself quite well, in fact, and I'm glad that I'm on the low bike. And I knew that would be the case. I knew that when it comes down to it, if you're not going to go off-road with these bikes, if it's only a road bike and you're doing bits and pieces like this, you don't need the ground clearance that these big tall bikes give you. You just need the normal clearance that you get. Those early ones are really quite tough. And I kind of halted on the turn there, but because I could get my feet firmly on the ground, I was able to take purchase and get myself back together. The worst thing is when there's something coming the other way. It really does make it tough for you. I think there's a few more switchbacks to go, so we're not out of the water yet. But part of the tricky part is the leaves, because obviously it's making everything slippy. Even for your foot going down, it's making it slippy. So that's where I've maybe, you know, been a wee bit nervous. Here we go again. This is very similar again to the previous one. Matter of just keeping the bike going. And there we go. I'm not sure, but I think that might be the last of the worst ones. There's maybe one more. I always know that when I come up here, I never expect there to be as many switchbacks. But now it's 7 degrees. But once you get past this tough start, it's a beautiful road, a beautiful moor. I never said anything about Google Go Away. It's because I said moor, isn't it? It's a lovely moor once you get up here. I think we're kind of past the tricky start. There is one bad switchback downhill further on, but the downhill ones are easy, I find, because you can just let the weight of the bike go down, and you know, you don't really need to do much in the way of throttle control. Yeah, I think that's all the bad switchbacks over with this way. Like I say, there is one on the way down that's quite severe. I've got a video of that on my Africa Twin when I had these numpties all packed up round the corner of it, and just made life so difficult for me. They didn't give a damn, you know, it was just stupidity. All the places for these people to park. I mean, even car, you know, a car was coming up at it, struggled. I've got that video, I'm going to put it up. I didn't film the first part of the trip, about 80 miles or so, because I've done it a few times and I really wanted to capture this on film. This is what I wanted to get on the footage, was this moor track. I just think back to the days when these would have been the only roads, and no doubt this is where they would have taken the cattle and the sheep way back in the day. It would have been a rough track then. Well, you can see the slimy foliage all on. Oh dear, not so good. Just got a bit confused with the hill there. It's not normally as bad as this. When you come up in the summertime, you don't have this to compete with. This is new to me. I'm just worried how slippy it is. We're up there again. There's one more sort of tight corner here, but just take my time, get around it. No idea what that is in the middle of the road. There we go. So that's the trickiest I've ever seen it, but I've not normally come up at this time of the year. It's usually sort of the middle of summer I come up. So you don't have all that to compete with, you don't have the fallen leaves, you don't have the sort of mossy foliage in the middle of the road. That was all new to me. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't freak me out a little bit. But again, I felt I had good purchase, so I wasn't too worried. It's a beautiful place once you come up here though, it really is. going to pull over at some point and get a coffee, take some photographs, just to try and pick my spot where I pull over, because with this being the low, the only thing I don't like on this bike at the moment is the low centre stand. I could maybe do it in here. Right, that'll do us nicely. Should be able to get it back up. The side stand is so low. That's going to be okay. Right, so you'll see at the moment that the bike is absolutely minging. They put salt down on the roads last night, and fuck, it's already got that, you can see. But I have got AC50 on it, and it will get a good clean when I get back, so it won't be left like that. We'll get it back nice and spick and span. But I really wanted to get out today. I wasn't going to worry too much about the weather, I just wanted to get out. I don't normally like to ride too much when the salt's down, just for the way it hammers the bike, but as long as you keep it protected and keep it clean and don't leave it on it, you should be okay. So let's do this first. Tell you what, we'll get some photographs first. I'm going to put this camera off now, and I'll put it back on when I set off again. But you can see I've got my side cases on. I put this on for my top box. I've got the heated seat, is absolutely brilliant. I put the pads on just to protect the tank a bit overkill with the pads, but the side ones are good for gripping if you stand up. I've got my sat nav and my phone connected up now. I've got my screen on, so I've done all the wee bits and pieces that I've put up on my channel, just a sort of summary of how I did them. I didn't actually film me doing them, I just kind of did them and then told you how I did them, just because I haven't really got that act together very well at the moment of trying to film things and then, you know, show what I'm doing. But they were all minor jobs, so I wasn't overly worried about that. Anyway, you can see the snow in the distance, so I'm going to get some photographs. I'm going to get to see snow over there, plenty of snow on top of the mountains. I'm going to get some photographs, get a coffee, and then make my way back home. So I'm going to turn this off for now. I'll switch it back on when I set off.